In this video, we will explore the three dimensions of who we are: the physical shell, our internal narrative, and the social network that surrounds us. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to introduce yourself and describe other people much more naturally, instead of only saying, "I'm nice" or "I'm happy." Let's get started. Before we learn hundreds of new words, let's build a simple mental map. Imagine a person standing in front of you. To describe that person, English speakers usually move from the outside in. We start with appearance. Ask yourself, what can I see? Words like tall, short, slim, overweight, young, old, beautiful, handsome, and features such as curly hair, straight hair, beard, glasses, all belong here. Next comes physical condition. This tells us how the body feels or functions. Is the person healthy, fit, strong, weak, tired, sick, or injured? Then we describe health problems if there are any. Common expressions include, "I've got a headache, a stomachache, a sore throat, a fever, a cough, or a backache." Once this three-step pattern becomes automatic, describing people in English becomes easier.
After describing how someone looks, the next question is, what do they wear? Let's think of clothing in 3 layers. The first layer is the type of clothing. These are the basic items people wear every day, such as a t-shirt, a shirt, a hoodie, a jacket, jeans, trousers, shorts, a skirt, a dress, trainers, boots, or high heels. The second layer is color and pattern. Instead of simply saying a shirt, make it more specific. A black shirt, a white dress, a striped t-shirt, a checked jacket, a floral skirt. These small details make your description much more vivid. Finally, we describe style. Someone can look casual, formal, sporty, smart, fashionable, elegant, stylish, or trendy. Once you follow this order, describing someone's appearance becomes more natural, more organized, and more descriptive.
Now, let's look at the switchboard of verbs. The first group, state verbs, describe a condition, not an action. They answer the question, what is true? Think about 4 common categories. First, thinking. Know, believe, understand, remember, forget. Second, feelings. Love, like, hate, prefer, want, need. Third, the senses. See, hear, smell, taste. And fourth, possession. Have, own, belong. Because these describe a state, we normally use the present simple. For example, I know the answer. She loves music. This bag belongs to me. The second group is dynamic verbs. Those verbs describe actions or activities and can easily be used in the present continuous to talk about what is happening. I'm studying now. She's cooking dinner. They're playing football. Now let's learn how to make predictions in English. The easiest way to remember these expressions is to imagine a certainty scale, from not sure to completely sure. At the first level, we have possibility. Use words like maybe, perhaps, might, and could. Next comes probability. Here we use I think, I believe, probably, or simply will, because we have some confidence. Finally, we have certainty. Expressions like I'm sure, definitely, certainly, and be going to show that we're very confident, especially when we have clear evidence. So remember this simple pattern. Possible, probable, certain. The stronger your evidence, the stronger your prediction. Now it's time to apply everything we've learned. First, describe the person's current state using the present continuous. What is she doing, and what is she wearing? Next, infer their habits with the present simple or state verbs. What kind of activities do they usually enjoy? Then, identify any vulnerabilities. Which body parts are most at risk? Here, you can use words like ankle, knee, wrist, sprain, fracture, or ligament damage. Finally, make a prediction. Based on the evidence, what might happen next? What injuries could occur? Here's some useful vocabulary to get you started. A rocky trail, a long-sleeved top, loose trousers, trainers, outdoor activities, hiking, trail running, right ankle, left knee, right wrist, vulnerable, sprain the ankle, damage a ligament, fracture the wrist. Beyond the physical lies the inner self. By mapping our emotions across a spectrum of energy and polarity, we gain a deeper understanding of our internal states and how we modify those descriptions. There are positive qualities, like kind, patient, generous, reliable, and challenging qualities, such as shy, stubborn, impatient, selfish. Remember, people are rarely just one adjective. A much more natural sentence is, she's quiet, but very reliable. That sounds balanced and realistic. Emotions involve an energy transfer. Adjectives ending in ing describe the cause of a feeling, or the radiator, while ed adjectives describe the receiver, the person feeling that emotion. This grammar point confuses almost every English learner. Remember, ing describes the source. Ed describes the receiver. Think about a movie. The movie is boring. You are bored. The lesson is interesting. The students are interested. The exam was confusing. The students were confused. The speech was inspiring. Everyone felt inspired. The roller coaster was terrifying. The children were terrified. Always ask, who creates the feeling? Who experiences the feeling? That simple question solves most mistakes. And here's the rule. You can't be boring unless you're making other people bored. Our identity isn't only about today. It's also shaped by our past. English often compares past and present. For example, I used to be shy. Now I'm much more confident. Or, I wasn't very active when I was younger. Talking about change makes conversations much richer because people love hearing stories of growth. Remember, when narrating the past, we encounter the timeline collision. We use the past continuous for background actions and the past simple for the sudden events that interrupt them, often connected by when or while. It is your turn to practice. Use this inner narrative journal prompt to construct a story about a disaster, incorporating the correct past tenses, emotional vocabulary, and insights into your personality. Complete these sentences. I used to. Now I. In the future, I hope. This simple structure helps you tell your personal story clearly. Instead of listing adjectives, you're explaining how your identity has changed over time. So far, we've explored a person's physical profile and inner self. Now let's look at their social identity. Think of every person as part of a network with 3 layers. First, life stages. We move from toddler, child, teenager, young adult, middle-aged, and finally, elderly or retired. Second, family structure. People interact with their immediate family, relatives, cousins, nephews, nieces, and sometimes even a host family. Finally, every relationship has tension points. Common causes include doing chores, sharing devices, staying out late, or technology addiction. So remember this simple framework: life stage, family network, daily challenges. Ask yourself, who are they? Who are they connected to? What challenges do they face? That's how we describe a person's social world. Let's review one key structure. Used to. We use it for past habits or past states that are no longer true. For example, I used to play football. She used to live in Hanoi. But remember, we don't use used to for actions that are still happening today. Think of it as a bridge connecting your past self with your present self. Apply this to generational shifts. Analyze the differences between a 1990s family dinner and a modern meal. Use these structures to report on changing family dynamics and offer your own advice. Now it's time to combine everything into one complete identity profile. Think of identity as 3 connected layers. Layer 1 is the shell. Describe the person's appearance, clothing, current actions, and possible physical risks. Layer 2 is the core. Describe their personality, emotions, and a defining life experience. How has that experience shaped who they are today? Layer 3 is the orbit. Explain how their life has changed over time, who influenced them, and what family relationships or challenges helped shape their identity. When you connect these 3 layers, you're no longer describing a person. You're telling their story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.